Hey guys, in this video we're going to paint the dinosaur. I have all my paint already on my plate. You're going to need an assortment of brush sizes and a jar or a cup or a bowl or whatever you have, with some water in it just to wash your brushes out as you work, and then a towel just to dry your brushes off. So we are going to get started. We're going to do the sky area. We're going to be mixing up a lot of different shades of green for this. So the sky is going to be a real, light, very, very light limey green. So I'm going to take just the tiniest bit of blue and mix it in with a lot of yellow. So it's got this nice limey green. It's got lots of yellow compared to blue. It doesn't take much blue at all. And I need to add a lot of white into that. So I'm going to stir in my white. And I've got this nice bright yellowy greenish color. I'm going to add a little bit more white. I don't want it quite so bright. And I'm just going to go in and get my sky area painted. So it looks pretty yellow, and that's perfectly okay. We want it to be kind of this chartreuse color, which is a very yellowy green, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I feel like it is. And just get this whole top part filled in. Right above all these hills. This color has lots of white in it. It helps keep it nice and light. Perfect. We've got our sky. I'm going to take just a tiny, tiny bit of blue on my brush and kind of stir it into the side and just darken a little bit of my area. You see, just a little bit. I got a little bit of that on my brush, and I just kind of sweep it in throughout my sky just to get some different colors, different shades of green. If you put too much on and you're like, oh, that's way too much, just take more of your light yellowy greeny color and just go right over top and tone it down. Okay, now we're gonna work on our hills. I'm not going to worry about cleaning out my brush because these colors all are going to kind of mix together and work together just fine. I'm going to make a more green. So this is a very yellowy green. I'm going to add a little bit more blue. It's easy if you just do little bits at a time. So I've got a little blue on my brush, and I'm going to stir it in to my light yellowy green color. So something like this. It's got a very bluish tint to it now. And I'm going to lighten it, and I'm just going to scoop up a little bit more white and stir that in. A little bit more. And this is going to be the color of this hill. That's very pretty color. I love that. So we're gonna go around the little dino tail. Don't paint his body. We're just gonna get this hill part filled in. And on this side. So we got this pretty hill. And we're gonna do the rest a shade of green also, but we're gonna change it up a little. Again, so we're gonna do this bottom hill next. And we're just gonna add a little bit more blue to that same color. Just a little, it just changes it ever so slightly. And we're going to paint this one. Maybe add just a little bit more blue because it's looking very similar. Just a little bit more blue. Once we get it over here, you'll see a bigger difference because it's right next to it. Boy, that color is really pretty too. I'm liking all these greens we're making. It's crazy how many different shades you can make, isn't it? Just different amounts of yellow, different amounts of blue. Just this little bit here, finish up. Okay, so we got that hill done, and we have just one more, and let's do another shade of green. Let's see, so maybe closer to that again. We probably just should have painted them both. It doesn't matter. I've got my yellowy green still here. I'm just gonna stir that in to my, can you see what I'm doing? I don't know, there we are. So I got my yellowy green that I started with the sky. I'm just gonna kind of stir that into my bluey green. And it's gonna end up looking a lot like this one, I'm pretty sure. Maybe slightly different. And I'm just gonna do this little hill over here, that color. Then lastly, we have this tall one in the back, and that one's gonna be a lot more blue. My paint is just running together, making a mess. So I got my blue and this kind of mess of all these colors. I'm gonna just start with my blue, scoop up some yellow, more yellow than blue, just to start, and then we can kind of change it as we go. So I want more blue. There we go, nice, very, very bluish green color now. I think I want this way more blue. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this to the side, add a lot of blue. So I don't wanna waste all my color, you know, trying to make all of this blue when I just need a little bit, because I'm gonna be adding a lot of blue. That seems better. Okay, now a lot of white. Ooh, that's pretty. So it's kind of like this nice, pretty turquoise color. And if yours is more blue, that's fine. It just means it's got more blue stirred into it. You know, I'm gonna make mine a little more blue. A little scoop of blue. It's hard getting the right color sometimes. Trial and error, practice makes perfect. There, that's way more blue. I like that. I'm just gonna get that filled in here. Oh, that's pretty. I am loving all these colors together. And I'm a big fan of dinosaurs anyway, but I think this is gonna be one of my favorite. Just because the colors are so pretty. All right, so I've got all my hills, got my sky. The last thing we need to do is the ground. We're gonna mix up another color. This one's just a little tricky, maybe just getting all the colors mixed up. That's kind of the fun part though. I like mixing colors. It's kind of like magic. You put blue in with yellow and all of a sudden it turns green. How cool is that? Okay, so we're gonna do another shade of green down here on the bottom. I'm gonna take a little bit of blue and with quite a bit of yellow. That kind of yellowy green again. I'm gonna take a lot of white, big old scoop, stir that in. So I've got that nice bright kind of yellowy color that we used in the sky. Similar, it's a little brighter. There's not as much white stirred in this time. And I'm gonna make it kind of like a olivey color. And to make it olivey, you're gonna think I'm nuts, but I'm gonna take just a little bit of red and stir that in. And it's going to mix in and make this dark, kind of funky, right now it's kind of looking orange, but it will get olivey. I'm gonna add just a little bit more blue to it. So we are a little on the orange end, just because there's so much yellow. Just a smidge more blue. Perfect. I've got this kind of dingy olivey green color. I'm gonna lighten it just a smidge. Whoops. Add a little bit more white. And then I'm just gonna come in here and paint this whole ground. There, I've got that all together now. Okay, so I'm gonna take just a teeny tiny bit more red on my brush and to stir it into a little bit of this olivey green color. Makes it kind of orangey pukey color. And I'm just lightly gonna brush it through just to make it kind of like little dirt spots. And if you get too much on, just take more of your olive green. You can just go right over top and smooth it out. There we go. So we've got our ground, our sky, and our mountains all finished. All that we have left is the dino. So I'm gonna start with a nice clean brush. And we're gonna paint him. Or her, could be a girl. There's girl dinos. Okay, so we're gonna make a very, very pale orange. So I'm gonna start with a nice scoop of yellow, and I'm gonna add a little bit of red. Stir that in. So I've got this nice bright orange. I'm gonna take a little bit of that and just kind of scrape it over here to the side for later. And then here on my plate, what I have, I'm gonna add a lot of white too. I'm stirring that in. So I've got this very pale, kind of buttery, orangey shade. Very, very light. There's lots of white mixed in compared to the amount of the other colors. And I'm gonna paint in my dino. So just nice, thin, smooth paint. Try not to have lots of globbies build up. I got a lot of paint on my brush. I'm just gonna spread that out. See how I've got big globs? I'm just gonna work them around until they're all smoothed out throughout the whole dinosaur. There, I've got him all filled in. Nice, smooth, even paint. I'm all covered. And let's see, we need to give him spots and like little spines down his back. And we're going to, since we saved this from before, I'm just gonna scoop it back up, stir it over here with a little bit of that color we just used to fill him all in. Maybe make him a little bit more orangey, so I'll add more red. I might need to mix up more of this because I don't know if it's just gonna go all the way. I don't know if that's gonna be enough to do all of the spots. Yeah, it should be. So I'm just gonna start by doing a stripe down this back. So from here on the neck, I'm just gonna go all the way across the back to the tail. And come up the tail a little. It's right about there. And then I'm gonna switch to a smaller brush. I'm gonna go down on his little toes. Down here, I'm just gonna do like the letter N. 1, 2, 3. They're just like little bumps. For little toenails. So 1, 2, 3. And they get filled in. He's got his little toenails. And I'm gonna do zigzags down the back. So starting where I did my orange line across his back, I'm just gonna come in and do zigzags. They're just little points, and I fill in. So as I come down, they can start getting bigger. So I'll get past this little dip, and I'll start making them a little bit bigger. And you can have great big ones or itty bitty ones. I like kind of these medium to little itty bitty ones. And I'm gonna go all the way until I get to right about here. I'm not gonna go all the way up the neck. I'm gonna stop at where the back kind of starts coming into the neck. So right about there. I'm just kind of giving these little areas that are on top of this green a little extra coat. And now I can start doing some polka dots. I'm gonna take this line, I'm gonna go back with my orange, and I'm just gonna come up, just go all the way to the tip of the tail there. Puts a little shadow in, I like that. Okay, so now polka dots. Same orange color, same little brush, and I'm just gonna go in and just do different sized polka dots on his body. So maybe some smallish ones here. Maybe a great big one here. Maybe another big one. Have one that kind of comes on the side of the leg, maybe. And you could just do these however you want. They don't have to be just like mine. And one here. I'll do a little guy here. One's going off around this, kind of off the back there. Get down on this leg, he needs one. Kind of a medium-sized one there. Here's another big one. Got a great big one right here. Do a little semicircle off the side of his body. And maybe we get one that's coming up his neck. How's that? Beautiful? Is he cute? Cutest little thing you ever did see? I like it. Okay, now we're just gonna do some quick highlighting, and well, I guess we're gonna call it shadowing and outlining. Not really highlighting. I'm gonna use a very skinny brush, very narrow, and black paint. I'm going to mix some water into my paint. So I dipped this brush in water, and now I'm stirring the water into the paint. So you want to make sure your paint isn't so thin with water that it's going to be dripping down your canvas. But the water helps your paint flow better, and it makes outlining a lot easier. So a trick to make sure you don't have too much water in your paint, just hold your plate up, and so long as it's not dripping down, you're good to go. So I'm gonna use my skinny little liner brush. A little bit of paint on there, and I'm gonna come in and just do quick little outlines on my hills. I will do my Dino. I'm just gonna go kind of on his little ziggy zags, on his spikes. And I'm just doing it quick and imperfect. Doesn't have to be perfect. You do want a really skinny brush for this though. If you don't have a really skinny brush, just skip it. Because you're a big thick brush, your little spines will just kind of be taken over by black, and we don't want that. I'm gonna do the little toenails quick. It's kind of awkward the way my hand is, but worked well enough. I'm gonna give him a little dot for an eye. Give him a little personality. I'm gonna do the ground line. All the way across there like that. And I'm going to do his dots. Then I'm gonna come in and just put some like little kind of like grass wrinkle lines, kind of squiggles in. They're just like pretending, like if you don't know how to write cursive, it's just kind of like pretending that you're writing in cursive. That's how I think of it. That's probably silly. And I think we are good. Dino complete. I love him. He is just the cutest little thing ever. I'm gonna sign my name. Since I got the black and the thinned out, I'm just gonna put a squiggle in that is my name. And I am finished. So when you guys are done, please take a picture and post to my Facebook page, Willy-Nilly. I have a post pinned at the very top where you can just upload and share your pictures. I love seeing them and appreciate you taking the time to do that for me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.